Welcome to the In Season podcast, rated R for language.
None of us are doctors or neurologists. The things you're about to hear are opinions of people living with epilepsy or seizures. These are firsthand experiences. Epilepsy can cause speech problems, and the medications are hard to pronounce. So please bear with me.
Epilepsy can cause bad memory, so some stories will be repeated. I'm Pookie. Get ready.
I was hoping this day would never come. My neuro says my epilepsy is intractable. The only thing we can do about it now is an RNS or a surgical excision. Before I was diagnosed, I never thought I'd have to make a decision like this, but here I am, having to decide between living with an uncontrollable seizures, getting part of my brain removed, or have a medical device placed in my skull. It sucks, and I don't know what to do. I could use some advice or hear some of your experiences with surgery or the RNS.
I was just thinking it varies for everybody.
I hear the first comment first. It says, for what it's worth, I was delobed recently and I'm feeling okay so far. My epilepsy is intractable too. I still have to stay on all my meds to avoid all my triggers. There's a long period of don't rock the boat before my neuro will make any changes. The thought of the brain surgery will scare the shit out of me too, but I've been assured by my friends and family that I'm still me. I may even be more annoying as I have tons of awful jokes related to the surgery now. My experience can't be taken as gospel, and everyone's epilepsy is different, but I can answer random questions if you have them in the morning when I wake up. I had a right temporal lobectomy. Anybody
I always thought of those as like the most intimidating kinds of surgeries where they actually take a part of your brain. But are those, am I right in thinking those are the only ones that still result in when somebody actually stops having remissions? Has anybody ever heard of remissions associated with any of the implants? And that's how they talk about it.
For that VNS surgery? Anybody had any surgeries?
I mean, by remission, you mean it goes away completely, or?
Yeah, that's what they call it. I think when you go a year, I want to say, without any seizure activity, that they start calling it remission at that point. But that's something I just don't hear about with the implants. I only hear about those kinds of things with the lobectomies and ablations, I think they call it, or that part where they actually like take something. But that's another kind of harsh reality that doctors always say casually. Don't ever expect to get better.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a very difficult choice. My surgery was completely different. This person, yeah, that's a very difficult decision. I would just say do all the research and yeah, I know.
And don't hesitate to ask the questions.
Yeah, I think Rick had brain surgery, right? I don't know, but yeah, just get all the information and yeah, be your own advocate, like we say.
Right.
I think Rick did have brain surgery, right?
Yeah,
he did.
Okay, and he'd be a good person to ask about this, but obviously he's not here with us tonight, unfortunately.
I got a few comments. Someone said, I got the RNS and it didn't work. And also had part of my brain removed and that didn't work either. Epilepsy sucks.
That's got to be rough.
I got one. I spent 10 days with my brain open and a grid placement because even after every scan and test, we couldn't figure out where they were starting. Surgeon said that if it was an easy spot, when they closed me back up, they could just melon baller that spot out. Well, it was my hippocampus, and they didn't want to take it out, so I got a nice shiny RNS. This was back in 2016. It took about a year and a half to get everything dialed in, but I haven't had a seizure since 2018. I've had it replaced once already for the battery, but this newer model is much more efficient at its usage. Looking at spring 2026 when I'll need it replaced again. Here's the deal though. It's so cool to tell people you have a computer in your brain. I mean, you're literally cyborg. Just tell them that you're buddies with the Skynet, and if they stay on your good side, that you might put in a good word from them.
I like that this was more just a funny story than anything.
Right. So, another comment says, "Do you know where your seizures originate? As far as I am concerned, operable is one of the most beautiful words in the English language. I have had a right temporal lobe lobectomy, and I am planning a second. The first was in 2000. It worked amazingly. After having kids, some kindling was an issue, but it took a long time before it got bad. Just to explain why I am doing it again. Also, the first time they found a tumor no one had seen on 7 years of MRIs. If epilepsy originates in one similar place to mine, I would be big I would be big time encouraging you, but no one has ever said RNS to me. I don't know a lot about the RNS, but I've gotten the impression that it was an option for when surgery is too risky. All I can say is you've trusted your doctor thus far. Trust them now. What would they recommend if you were their relative? Also, the workup the workup to brain surgery is extremely extensive. They will get a sense of what you are risking before the surgery for sure." Someone straight up said, "I will keep my thoughts to myself." Sounds like lightly trolling. Catamenial medications. Why does everyone take them? I think catamenial isn't the conversation for us guys.
Good thing you got some ladies here to participate.
Yep. Kate
That
and
was
Lufa,
the
we need you,
ladies'
and
day.
Annie, we need you to take this one.
It says catamenial medications. What does everyone take? And what is your pattern? I have an appointment with my neurologist and I don't know what benzodiazepine I should be suggesting. Yes, I have to do this, but at least he listens. Anyhow, I have a pattern for 4 days where I have one or more focal seizures every month. What's your pattern and medication? This would be the question.
For I mean, I don't really talk with my doctor about it, but I have a birth control implant that stops my period completely, so it just reduces the epilepsy and myoclonic jerks and whatnot. So I like the Mirena IUD. It works for me. You're asking for a benzo? I don't know. Clonazepam works for me. That's what I'm on. So, but it would just depend on what she's dealing with, particularly, I guess.
That is kind of tricky because Personally, I think if it was predictable, it's better. Right now, I'm on 250 milligrams of Keppra once a day, or I split it in half. So I take 250 total, and the vitamin B, whatever that's called. Damn, how do I forget? All right, anyway, whatever that Nature's Made is called. So that's what I'm taking now for the last month. Didn't change the week when I kind of expected it to happen, and that's what I'm working with. The Apple phone tells me when to watch out, and that's usually when it happens. It's focals for 2 or 3 days out of that week, and then tonic-clonics don't happen, but maybe like 2 or 3 times a year now. But if I had it that predictable, like a solid 4 days or like the same 4 days every month, then that would be a little bit refreshing. What do you think, Eddie?
For me, I was already in what they call surgical menopause right after I was diagnosed with epilepsy. So I can't really compare other than, before I was diagnosed, I did have, weird things happening, but I had stuff going on like a lot of us women do. But, being that they can do things like, hormonal replacement or, a hormonal birth control to help control that and keep those seizures under control. I think that's great. I know I don't know what you had to do for it, Olivia, but, some gynecologists will work together with your epileptologist. I think another one is endocrinology. But yeah, I didn't have those problems. And if I did, I didn't notice. Yeah, because very closely after I had my diagnosis, I had other things change. So I didn't even I didn't hear about catamenial until, oh my gosh, maybe 5, 6 years ago. I didn't even know that it could be different for women. But yeah.
Yeah, for focals though, I suggest this B12 by Nature's Made. Shout out to Nature's Made. So,
Thanks for the reminder. I forgot to take mine today.
Shout out to brownies with toasted coconut and sea salt. Yum, yum. Shout out to the brownies tonight.
Yeah.
Right?
We're gonna go through the comments for that catamenial medications. One said I had a neuro that gave me a low dose of lorazepam to take at bedtime during a week when I usually have an increase. Worked then pretty well. It was in addition other medications, but only used during that time of the month. Someone else said, I take high estrogen birth control, and this has helped a lot. Regular kind did not. I skipped a placebo week and take it straight through, so my hormone levels don't fluctuate. I don't know what it means, but it sounds cool, I guess.
Maybe they're just trying to give an example of how they got balanced out or something. I couldn't tell what they were trying to say in that one.
Someone said, I'm terrified of dying. Been under a lot of stress lately as my mom just passed away. And because of that, I've been having more seizures. I recently had a seizure in my sleep, and my brother and his girlfriend found me and took care of me. I was insanely lucky. They just happened to be home and awake. But I'm scared I'm going to have a seizure while sleeping one of these days and not wake up. Should I? Oh, should I say I'm tripping? Or should we say I'm tripping? Um, I wouldn't say be terrified. I wouldn't say you're tripping either. How you feel is how you feel. Um, yeah, know your body, know yourself. You're not tripping. If you feeling like that, talk to somebody. I'm here. Someone says, I feel the same way. You're not alone. I've recently been feeling so defeated. I just started having seizures October 24. I got put on medication and was stabilized till February. Had another seizure and increased the dose, and hadn't had one since February until last week when my dad and sister found me after I had one in my sleep. I just got a new job, so I might not be able to drive soon, and it all just sucks. I'm sending you so much love because I know how truly difficult your situation is. Truth is, I've been so scared to die since my mom passed away when I was young, but when I started having seizures, my fears increased. It's more important to keep your support system close. We're all on borrowed time at the end of the day, with or without epilepsy. I hope you feel better soon. I'm praying for your physical and mental well being. Stay safe. Yoga and meditation are really helpful for stress. That's what I've been trying to recently. Listening to nature sounds. Do what you can to keep stress levels down. I hope we both can find a place for our situations, a place for peace in our situations. Another one says, for me, it helps to look at statistics, to be honest. Dying from seizure is unlikely. That's how I'm dealing with it. I know we love to be in control of things because it gives us comfort, but especially with conditions, control is an illusion. My neurologist told me 10 years ago you can either choose to live in fear of seizures or live life in spite of seizures. That's a good one. Live life.
That's a wise neurologist. I like that.
Right.
I don't, yeah, I really want to emphasize how much I agree with that. It's it's only going to be detrimental to be living in a state of fear or stress about all of these what ifs that you really can't control. Because, ironically, the stress itself is only going to make seizures that much more likely. So, I mean, it's easier said than done, but I let go of the stress, find something to release it, to direct it into. Um, there's a whole host of different options depending on the type of person you are and how you kind of find that release. I know some people, I think some people suggest like martial arts. Some people, like myself, I strongly suggest something like gardening. Um, to, um, I mean, the whole gamut, it doesn't need to be epilepsy specific. Just, look up stress reduction hobbies or practices or, and there's, um, something for everyone out there. Um, Far better than dwelling on what ifs that again, you have no control over.
Somebody said, I'm sorry about your mom. After my dad died, the grief gave me a lot of stress, and my seizures and health anxiety increased. Honestly, I ended up seeking anxiety meds, and I'm glad I did. Sometimes the grief makes it all too much. Um, Someone said, get a Sammy camera ASAP and give the remote monitoring feature to them and someone trusted who is always nearby, like a neighbor or something. This has helped me significantly reduce my stress of fear of dying. Another one. The chances of you dying from a seizure in your sleep is very unlikely. I've had hundreds, if not thousands, of seizures in my sleep throughout my life. If anything, it just kills my memory a bit and gives me some brain fog. Sure, it isn't easy, but all you can do is push through it. Maybe you could ask your neurologist for a medicine that will help relieve your stress, anxiety, and possibly reduce your seizures you have in your sleep. I take clonazepam to stop the seizures from happening while in my sleep, and benzodiazepines can also cure anxiety and stress. Might be something to look into, but keep in mind benzodiazepines are very addictive and must be taken as directed. They aren't a drug to mess around with or experiment with.
Damn it, there was something that I heard in that that I wanted to comment on, and now I've lost it. I'm sorry.
I can read it back to you.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't mind.
It's all right. It says the chances of dying from a seizure in your sleep are very unlikely. I had
Oh,
hundreds.
okay, that was it. Okay, thank you. That very early on. That's one. Okay. So sorry to interrupt, but yeah. So I think I read earlier today that the chances of dying from SUDEP in the epileptic population is about 1 in 1,000 um, deaths of epileptic people per year is from SUDEP. So it's really incredibly rare. And I know that's kind of an abstract approach to it, the kind of um, dehumanized numbers really don't speak to the anxiety of the actual situation for individuals themselves, but um when I first heard about it, SUDEP, it sounded like it was a real, like, genuine concern that we really need to kind of think about and dwell on in fear and I mean, in reality, it's good to do what you can to minimize the potential um, whenever there's something that's preventable, but it's really not something to fear. Um, given that it's, uh, 1 in 1,000, that's, you do things every day that are more likely to kill you. If you get in the car and ride along with anybody, just driving on the road is probably more likely um, to lead to an accident and some sort of injury. Um, you know, so you wear your seatbelt when you get in the car. But you don't fear it necessarily. Most people don't. But yeah, I would try to think about it that way, dwell on it, internalize it that way, that really it's SUDEP is not something to dwell on daily. It's a couple preventative measures set up once are really all you need to be as prepared as you possibly can for the potential of SUDEP. So that's my opinion, at least. So, um, yeah, Pookie.
I like your opinion. Yeah, I try to keep my mind off dying. Like you said, it's not too common. If you think about SUDEP too much, you worry yourself. Yeah, you gotta live life. Don't let SUDEP hold you back or the thought of it. The doctors will tell you that, but live life, not being afraid, and yeah, have fun living life. Otherwise, being depressed will mess you up.
Yeah, don't let epilepsy hold you back.
And get you a good support system. I was recently diagnosed and I am terrified. I am 28 years old, NB. Oh, non-binary, and had a seizure twice in the past 2 months for the first time in my life. Both time I was in public and I ended up in the hospital after my second stay. They put the sticky wires, sorry, don't remember what they're called, on my head to monitor my brain, diagnosed me with epilepsy triggered by low blood sugar and stress, and gave me some Keppra to take twice a day. I'm terrified. I had stress and anxiety all my life, and now all of a sudden it can cause my brain to do a hard reset. And I was on the train one of those times. What if I was on the platform and had fallen into the tracks? And another time I was sitting in a chair and woke up in hella pain because it hit my shoulder very hard, apparently, and bit my tongue very hard. Sometimes I forget to eat, especially when I'm stressed out. And I've been stressed about trying to remember to take my meds, that it causes me to forget, which makes me worry that that's going to give me a seizure. I am not someone equipped for those levels of calm and regular brain. My brain already has enough cross signals. My mom said I just have to talk. I just have to take it one day at a time, and I'm trying, doing my best. I'm pretty sure I had a seizure in my sleep the other day because I forgot to eat and forgot my meds and woke up feeling woozy, and my body was in a crazy amounts of pain again. I have a neurology appointment in January to get more details, but I am so afraid now and like all the time. And I've been trying to brush it off with my hilarious dark humor and sarcasm, but it's starting to not work. Please help. Anything you can offer. I don't want to die. I mean, if I have no choice, then I guess, but I prefer to live as long as possible. I guess is the first comment. Says, hello, I completely understand your fear and frustration. It truly is normal to feel. I noticed you say you forgot to take your meds. Please try and buy one of those pill boxes labeled from Monday to Sunday. Add your pills to each box and have them next to your bedside table or somewhere you often at. So you could take your medication and help prevent your seizures as much as possible. Also, you could set alarms to remind you. I've been taking Keppra for 8 years now. At first, the way it makes you feel could be difficult. Before me, I endured through the hard beginnings, and with time, I've come accustomed to medication. Now I'm several years seizure free. For me, high amount of sugars cause seizures, so I try to limit the amount of sweets from a minimal to none at all. If I do have something sweet, it's something low in sugars. You should make list of what exactly constantly stressing you and come up with a possible solution to get rid of that stress or simply reduce them as well. As stress is one of your triggers. It's normal to brush off your feelings and you feel with jokes, as I've been there before. But I assure you things will get better. Please try to have a positive mindset, as being in a negative headspace could also affect you. You got this, and I wish you so much luck this January at your appointment. Um, you guys have any advice for this person? They're terrified. I'm sure we've already been terrified before. How would you feel?
I think, yeah, we've been there before. We got scared of times where we're gonna die. We've been through seizures that I've been through one definitely, and I said, "This is how I'm gonna die." You know, I can't be scared of life. You know, and the SUDEP is, as we talked about it, it's rare. It's really rare. As long as you do whatever you can to prevent your seizures, it's really rare that it's going to happen. You're more likely going to be hit by a train than you will by dying from SUDEP. But it is a scary thought, and I know where you're at.
And don't do anything too drastic, but I know exactly where you're coming from. Um, says I have temporal lobe epilepsy. I wish I could come to peace with this. I used to be okay, or at least tolerated it more. I accepted the partials as just a painful, regular part of life, reoccurring every month, almost like a period. I accepted my medication when it suddenly and immediately made me have to take a nap at 2 p.m. every day, even though it hurt. Putting it lightly at first, putting it lightly, at first, I learned to deal with losing my license and relying on my partner to drive me. Now, all these years later, my seizures are under control, yet, as as odd as it is, as odd as it may sound, I'm more resentful of it now than ever before. My brain is fucked up. It is so utterly fucked, both from whatever the seizures did to my brain and the side effects of medication used to keep the demon in my head confined. Primarily temporal lobe, simple partial focals with only a handful of tonic clonic. Word recall, memory, cognition as a whole. I'll be talking to someone and just immediately stop and go quiet. Then start talking 5 seconds later once I found the word. I can't remember critical details. My brain creates false memories. 16 years since they started, 9 years since the diagnosis, 9 years on medication, 9 years of this fatigue and brain fog that I've come to assume as normal existence, and that I have no choice but to operate within. Always just a little confused by everything around me. People used to call me smart. I wasn't gifted or particularly smart, but I would say I was slightly above average. Now I be called out, both maliciously and politely, on my own mistakes. Logical errors and poor memory. Before this medication, before this disease, what people called me out on was my weird behavior as a kid. Now I'm Now I'm a quiet person with much better social skills, but my cognitive decline has taken over as much as it sticks out. I've gone from being fine and being able to do something, but just being too lazy to feeling unable to do something no matter how hard I try. I know this probably seems very woe is me, and I suppose it is. I know other people have it harder. At the same time, being smart, even if it was just slightly above average, was something I felt a little good about since I wasn't good at much else. And now that's gone. My brain is diseased, and the meditation to treat it only makes the symptoms worse. I'm not good at any. I'm not good at anything anymore. I just exist in this perpetual fog, perpetual confusion, always being reminded of others, of the flaws in my brain I didn't have before, the flaws in my logic, my thinking, my memory, my capability. I'm a shell of who I used to be. What do I do now? Mm. Um, what do you guys suggest he do now?
I suggest you stop thinking that there's flaws in your brain because you there isn't any flaws in your brain. This is what we are advancing to, you know? We are better. If you think about it, most the brain, every time it has to go through a seizure, has to repair itself. And I'm not a doctor or anything, but this is just my belief. The more it repairs itself, the easier it becomes. Imagine someone who doesn't have to go through seizures all that often. They're not repairing themselves. So yeah, we are becoming better, you know. We are not flawed. We have something different that others don't have. And that's how I like to see it. Um
I like your answer. Um, I don't listen to his people as much. Like you said, there's people telling them about the decline now. Can't let those people get in your head. If that's your support system, try to find another support system, even if it's just one person. Um, yeah, without one, you think everybody's against you and all that. Been there. Um, yeah, just gotta have hope that it's gonna get better, and it will get better. Just get control of it and don't give up.
People who are scared of this person and without hope. I hear this so often in this community, and um, like I said, it's difficult to tell these people to build them back up and reinforce their um, uh, state of mind from because I'm trying to remember where I was at that point, and I was just in a point of survival. I didn't really care about much else. It was either live or die, you know. It just uh, focus on surviving, and It's all I cared about back then. And so, I don't think I'm the right person to ask for this.
Gotcha, Kevin. I understand. Mark, you got something, or should we move forward?
I'll come up with a better answer eventually for that. These like, dreadful questions are so are difficult.
There was something that I wanted to ask
Let's hear it.
before, but I can't remember. That's I
That's
don't know.
common.
Let's see
Well,
if I can remember it before he gets back. Um,
Was it related to another post when they were talking
uh,
about
no,
just
it was
diagnosed? Or,
something.
okay.
It was like oh, is anybody in our group, um, are any of their diagnosis multifocal?
Right here. That's why they had to put
Yeah.
a bunch of That's why they had to put a bunch of electrodes in. That's why it went for RNS
So what
because
was
the
the
focals are on both sides of the brain, scattered throughout, basically.
yeah, bilateral.
yeah?
Yeah.
Because I've been wondering about that personally. The sensations that I've been getting, that like the tingling, the roller coaster drop sensation on one side or the other. I mean, it's not just they recorded the right frontotemporal, which would suggest left bodily sensations and stuff, but I get them on the right sometimes too. Um, and now these the nystagmus that went to the aware clonic, she said is an extremely unusual presentation. She was kind of hesitant to um, refer to it as a seizure because it really did not fit the the right frontotemporal thing, uh, diagnostic symptoms and stuff. So I kind of sort of insisted on doing the EMU because I asked her, well, just because it's not consistent with the right frontotemporal doesn't necessarily mean that the right frontotemporal lobe is the only place that seizures are starting from, and she kind of admitted that. But it had me wondering what was the process for you that led to the realization that it wasn't just the one lobe, that, was it a long drawn out
2 years.
adventure?
Oh yeah.
2 years?
Oh yeah. Yeah, 2 years. Mostly EEGs is what determined the focal points or multiple foci. It started though with a lot of imaging to basically eliminate every other possibility. And my seizures have never been typical of or predictable. Let's say predictable. I don't get I've never had an aura. I don't get jerks or twitches on one side or the other, or sensations that would indicate any part that it typically stems from. So it was, I would say, a long drawn out process, but they had to get a few at night, during the day. at different times of the month and whatnot. And once they had enough evidence, I guess, to put together a plan with the surgeons, then I got the go ahead. And also, welcome to Brooks, MC, or whatever you want to go by.
Oh yeah, M. Brooke. This is the comedian. This is the one making
Glad
the
to have you.
memes.
Oh, you made
Yeah.
the Donnie Darko joke. I saw that post.
How you doing, Brooke?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly fine.
Hold on. I'm not used to Zoom. I don't use it much, so is that really noisy in the background? Can you hear my air conditioner?
Nope.
No.
Okay, good. I'm in my grow room, so I didn't know if that was gonna be noisy. Let me
No,
see if I can.
it's all right. We usually start off with the new people. Say how you doing and what are you taking? When was your last seizure and when were you diagnosed?
Are you asking me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's usually what we ask the new people.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you were talking to me or somebody. I'm gonna be turned a lot. I'm rolling joints and shit. So,
Yeah, do you think?
okay, so you're asking me when I was first diagnosed?
Yeah, what are you taking and when was your last seizure?
Last seizure was just a couple days ago. I have mostly absent seizures. Um, I'm on lacosamide, Vimpat, and Briviact. My Briviact was just increased to 200 milligrams. My last seizure was an absent seizure 2 days ago, something like that. Yesterday, I get confused on the days. So,
Me too. We all do.
sorry, drop my lighter. But yeah, no, I just increased my Briviact. I was first diagnosed last September. Um, After tests and scans, apparently I've had epilepsy about my entire life since childhood, from about 3 incidences of head trauma that I can recall. I most likely had absent seizures, but I just wasn't aware of it. Like, I'd stare off in space, have weird feelings as a kid and teenager, and just never really knew it. But when I was diagnosed, that's when it just confirmed. I guess I was having really bad episodes leading up to my first tonic-clonic in September. Uh, I lost my train of thought. That's one of my big things.
We
I
all
get
do that.
sidetracked so easy.
You aren't the only one.
Yeah, my main damage, I guess, is in my
Memory.
right temporal lobe. My memory and emotional centers is the primary damage. I can't remember, like, there's technical terms and everything. I most likely have hypergraphia epilepsy, which is why I rant a lot and type so much whenever I comment and respond. That's also why I'm on here all the time, because I'm home all the time and I just needed a good distraction instead of just sitting in my room by myself smoking weed all day. So I
That's
can't remember
also
what all I was
everybody
asked
here.
now.
Yeah,
What's
I
that?
think
I'm
that's
sorry.
everybody.
No.
Not everybody's smoking weed, but everybody's in their room. But, yeah, 90% of us are. Wait, it's divided by 6. Oh yeah, Kate's not in a room, so yeah.
Kate's in the car. But we all smoked weed or like it.
Or like,
I mean, I've smoked weed throughout my entire life, recreationally, but I've had back issues. I had my first back surgery in my early 20s. I'm 43 now. But first back surgery in my early 20s. I had another one about 10 years ago, 9 years ago. So where I live, I'm able to legally smoke and legally grow my own. So that's been a big help. I used to be on opiates, which made me feel like shit. I mean, I kind of enjoyed the high feeling a little bit, but overall, I didn't like the feeling. So as soon as I live in Missouri, and as soon as they allowed legal weed, I started growing right away. So it's been great. I basically have an endless supply. I smoke at least a quarter a day, minimum, sometimes half ounce a day. I have a very high tolerance because of how much I smoke. So yeah, it is what it is. I enjoy it.
I feel you.
So this
My neurologist told me not to
hypergraphia,
worry about it.
I,
I'm
I
sorry,
had to
what?
look that up. I had to look that up real quick. I didn't know what hypergraphia was. So I mean, how do you define that? I mean, do you just really like to write, or how does that work?
I can't help it. Not that I
Okay.
necessarily like it. It just happens. I start in my mind. I'll have like a one sentence in mind. Really, that's where it starts, and I go into over detail. Even if I think the person's gonna understand what I mean, I still go into so many details because I start thinking in my head, and it all comes out. And then before I know it, I've got this much written down in the text, and I'm not gonna delete it after I write that much. So I say fuck it and send it. So even if it's not really on topic, it just happens.
So it's not necessarily writing a certain genre or like anything certain. You just gotta
Yeah.
write something down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even like the comments on Reddit, just
Mhm.
replying to a simple comment, it turns into a fucking book in my head.
Oh,
So,
I know how that is.
You seem like a comedian.
well, and that's another thing. I guess I'll take the good with the bad. Hypergraphia, epilepsy actually stirs up the creative parts in your mind. And I think that's why I make memes. Even if they're not funny to everybody, they seem funny in my head, so I make them anyway.
Yeah.
Vincent Van Gogh is believed to have had hypergraphia, but of course, that long ago, they can't confirm it. But they believe that with notes that were taken, I guess he had a lot of shaking fits, but he was very creative, obviously, with his art. So, um, yeah, I'll take the good with the bad. If it makes me more creative and I can, make others
I
laugh even for a second a day, it's worth it for me.
I agree with you. Everybody has their own art form, and people have their own ways of being creative. I did a post asking about everybody's art form a while back ago. I put it a sand gator, but I like to create things every now and then.
Well, and
Yeah.
another thing about me, I can ramble on when I talk a lot. So if somebody else needs to speak, just tell me to shut the fuck up. You won't hurt my feelings because I don't even notice a lot of times when I'm doing it.
No problem. We go from the asking question to other topics so many times. It's all right. We
So
wander off.
I don't know if you mentioned already, was this hypergraphia associated with temporal lobe epilepsy?
Yes.
It looks like
Mhm.
they came up with a name like so did they give you one of those conditions? Or like one of those
It hasn't been. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you got what I was trying to say.
Yeah. It hasn't been officially diagnosed yet. I actually just learned about it myself. But I got to talk to I have a meeting with or an appointment with my neurologist in September, and I'm gonna talk to her about it and see everything. I do have it's confirmed I have the temporal lobe epilepsy, and everything I've read up on the hypergraphia just makes sense, especially going back to childhood. I've always been this way about writing and rambling on and going into over details, and since I was told that I've had this epilepsy since childhood, it's just recently popped up with the tonic clonics to confirm that I had it with all the tests. So uh, yeah, it just makes sense that I have hypergraphia after I read up on it and thinking back about my life and how I've been.
Yeah, you seem like a really funny guy.
I mean, I don't know. I try. I mean, shit's funny in my head, so I put it out there.
Gotcha.
And everything's not going to be funny. I get that, but I enjoy making them. I have fun
That
with it.
doesn't mean
It's
we
a
can't
stress
laugh at
reliever.
it.
So
Yeah.
I mean, if you enjoy it, enjoy it. Just
Yeah, we can still laugh at it with you. So did you
Yeah.
come to this
I just
group
never
with any
know if
questions?
I'm sorry. What?
Did you come to this group with any questions or trying to get anything answered or achieved?
Honestly, if I did, I don't remember.
There you
So
go.
I just I seen the thing in the community and it sounded like a cool thing to check out. I actually meant to join a long time ago, but after my med adjustment, which is the first time last night, and I went from a lower dose of Briviac to a much higher dose. and it wiped me out, and I had to take a nap. I was so tired earlier.
Oh, happy to have you.
Right.
Oh, I can show. I was told by
Welcome to
my
the family.
neurologist that yeah, it seems like it. I really like this. Being at home all the time, it's nice to have people to talk with. That we're going through similar shit.
Right. Same here. I got something here. It says, I keep passing out at work. I passed out at work 4 times, 4 different times. I've been on 1,000 milligrams of Keppra a day since December after I passed out at work the second time and had my first TC. Haven't had a TC since, but I keep having strong auras and passing out. I black out every time. I can't remember anything, so I have to ask my coworkers what happened. Just frustrated, don't really know what to say. I need some guidance here. Uh, I don't know because I never been fired for a job. I always left a job because
I can answer him on that part. If because it was happening to me with Kepler too, that the wall is broken, basically the threshold, and all they're gonna have to do is adjust it and higher his dosage or her dosage. I don't know if you said that person's name. Um, but yeah, they're gonna have to talk to their neurologist or ophthalmologist because the seizures are coming through regardless of what's happening. And that's just a safety concern.
yeah.
Oh, sorry, I was trying to figure out this damn Zoom so I could change my name so it'd be easy for y'all, and I didn't hear you. I got distracted.
You
Oh,
go under participants and you can change your name there.
Okay, I got you. I see it. Rename. My name's Madison, by the way.
hey, Madison.
Hi, Madison.
Someone suggested you get a category of your own. Well, not of your own, but someone suggested a category for the jokes and the memes. So,
I mean, since I post so much, you might want to do that.
yeah, someone else said that, so I got you. I'll get it together.
And like I said, I mean, if I post too much, just let me know. I mean, half the time I'll post something and I don't realize it's only been like 15 minutes or 10 minutes. So
Post whatever you want, man.
And,
hey, I could be a clown. I can make y'all laugh,
There you go.
like Joe Pesci.
I mean, the garden gnome thing, though, Mark, you still had some lines, right? Weren't you a gnome that did something?
yeah, well, I mean, no spoilers.
True, true.
Right. I got one here. It says severe nausea after focal seizure. I had a focal last night. Not high blood pressure, but elevated. Felt nauseous. Had several hallucinations, and now this morning I feel really nauseous. I don't know. I need to eat to take medication, but I feel so nauseous. What would you do? When I'm nauseous, I smoke weed. I think that helps it for the most part, and it does. And I just smoke and then I lay down and let it work itself out. Probably isn't the best advice, but weed helps me with nausea and everything else in between.
I might be able to add a little bit to that because I smoke so much weed. And I've gotten nauseous a couple times with my focal seizures. So I'm basically always high. So whenever I get nauseous, for me, I just try to settle down and drink some water. I mean, I just kind of have to sit and not move. And I mean, there might be better ways, but for me, I just kind of have to let it pass on its own. I've never actually like thrown up. I just get that dizzy feeling. I feel like I'm going to, but I just drink some water, and that seems to help me.
That's what I was going to
I don't know if
suggest
it'll
too.
work for anybody else. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Not at all. Not at all. That's I was just saying that's what I would suggest too. You know, start out slow, little sips of water. Don't think anything solid until hours after it's passed.
I actually like to eat something solid, something stay hydrated. Hmm? What? Oh no! You
Well,
look surprised there. I said eat something.
Yeah, because I'm thinking if
I
you're nauseous, you feel like you're gonna throw up. I mean, the lighting in here sucks, but all my
no.
expressions look probably
You
exaggerated.
look like she was going to beat you.
That's like my solution
No,
to
because
everything
but
is
I'm
eat
thinking if
something.
somebody's about to throw up, if you know one of the kids was nauseous and then they're saying I want my Cheetos back, it's hell no. You don't eat
No,
solid food when you're about to throw up.
well,
But
after
whatever works for
after a
you.
seizure, that was always my solution. Is I feel sick, take some Advil, then I eat something,
Hmm.
and maybe take like a hot shower or something. Because like I don't know, it's like I don't know for some reason the warmth, you know, the head. I don't know, all seems to mix together well. Nice potion to calm down you know the you know whatever's going on in the brain.
I like cold
Kevin,
showers.
you like 5'6", 5'7", somewhere around there?
Hmm. 5'6". Think I'm
Uh,
5'6".
5'9"?
He's like 5 foot, like Kevin Hart.
I didn't want to start short.
God, man, I'm 6 feet tall.
What?
Yeah,
What? Oh, you're my height.
yeah.
Yeah, Angel.
Five
He didn't
six. Come
remind me.
on, man.
Angel didn't remind me of a 6 foot guy either, but that's just looking at the head, the upper body. But yeah, Mark, I can already tell he's 6 foot something. Um,
You're 6'2", Pookie.
yeah, but sometimes you can't tell who's tall and who's short. You're 5'10", close enough.
can you
Yeah,
guess mine?
that's honest soul to scalp 5'10". So that's at least like 6'2" in dating app height, right?
Right.
Yeah, you gotta lie on those because they don't date anyone under 6 foot.
No.
I say, Madison, you're 6 foot at least.
You're
5'8".
close. I'm 5'11",
Oh, okay.
or maybe five. I'm just under 6 foot.
Okay. Kevin and Angel,
So
you
you were
guys.
damn close.
Be fair, I did shrink a little. I think I might be 5'11" because I think I mentioned before on my hospital visit they did a bone density test and it said I was shrinking, so I might be 5'11". Ooh, creepy.
Is any of that related to epilepsy or like a side effect of
That's
medication?
directly related to epilepsy. That's related to the Depakote.
Oh,
Depakote like melts your bones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard severe osteoporosis is a side effect, a long-term side effect of more than one of these
It can
anti-epilepsy
affect your
drugs.
growth.
Yeah.
Okay.
I probably would have been taller. I was on Depakote when I was a kid, basically.
Damn. 10?
We would have been like 6'5", both of us.
I got like to Lamictal when I was 16. No, I got Dilantin when I was 16. I could have been 6'5", is what you're telling me?
Yeah, all of us. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I was gonna be this tall. Me and my dad look eye to eye, and he's just a little bigger at the arms and shoulders. like that
He's
prison
probably
type
7
big.
foot tall over there laughing.
We're like eye to eye, except he has that prison big. So that part. Otherwise, we're just eye to eye, head same height, and I'm just a little more nonchalant.
Yeah, I feel lucky. My dad was 5'7", so I'll take my 5'11".
Right. I got something here. It says, "Does this happen to anyone else? I've had this occur a few times, and I've tried to bring it up and describe it to my doctor, but it's hard for me to describe things. For some context, I'm 21-year-old female, atypical drug-resistant epilepsy, most daily absent seizures, even though I'm medicated, but if I miss doses like 3 or more, I have grand mal seizures. I'm getting an RNS in a few days. Sometimes I wake up and feel like I've had a grand mal seizure, but it kind of keeps going. Like I have the muscle fatigue, nausea, and brain fogness, and dizziness, and feeling like I haven't slept in a week, but I also get numbness in all of my limbs, twitching that feels like lightning is shooting through my arms and legs, and this feeling like I'm both dizzy and fighting off the urge to pass out and can't control my movement at exact same time. We've not caught it on the EEG because it comes and goes. I was wondering if anyone else here has felt anything similar. It only happens when I wake up. Thanks in advance. To clarify, it just feels like the last time I had a TC seizure. I am not sure I actually had one as I was asleep and I didn't fall off my bed or anything. I'm curious about the weird stuff with my arms and the strange dizziness. Sorry for the confusion. I just do weird shit in my sleep. I haven't had that going on. Anybody experience anything similar to that? I do not have drug resistant epilepsy, fortunately.
That sounds like everything Kate can talk about, but as far as it sounding like a seizure in the sleep, yes, it does.
Sounds like
Like
nocturnal,
a,
is what you're saying?
yeah, like a nocturnal ground mal.
Mm.
I
And say
don't
that
know about what the RNS will do, but I don't have an RNS.
Say that
did
again,
you say
Madison?
they had did you say they had focal epilepsy?
Yep, I believe so.
I
Said
was just
forcing
wondering because that's
conflict,
what
absent
or
seizures.
focal where seizure or okay. Yeah,
Absent.
I got confused. I couldn't remember because that's what I have. I have absent seizures and I have some in my sleep. So it sounds like they have a lot of things that are similar to mine. And I have some in my sleep that occur. Mine aren't like tonic-clonics, the big ones. It's just the absent seizures. But the big thing you said they missed 3 doses. That sounds like that could be a big thing because my neurologist told me even if I miss 1 dose, that could throw me into.
Yeah.
Quick question, Madison. How do you know you've had an absence seizure in your sleep? Like,
My wife will let me know that she'll like see me like uh not really like sees like where I'm flopping around, but she'll hear me like make a moan sound or something like that, and then I'll wake up and I'll have just a little bit of drool, and that had
mm,
dried up on the side. So I assume that's what it was. I mean, I don't know what because I didn't used to do that. I never was somebody that drooled in my sleep or anything. So I mean, I can't guarantee it, but I do have a lot of absent seizures. So that's just what I assumed was going on.
okay.
I know what you're
Eh,
talking about. I have a seizure, and since you got the beard and I got the beard, I know you're like, oh, it's stuck in the beard, and you're like, what the fuck? And it's
Yeah, because
bit.
normally, like, if you'd roll, the pillow would probably, wipe it off. But with the beard, it kind of gets stuck in there a little bit. So
Yeah,
when
you
I
gotta
wake
do
up,
all
it's like, oh, what?
this.
Yep.
Yeah. Beard problems.
But that's just what it sounded like to me. It sounds to me like the missed dosages because I know, I mean, everybody's different, but for me personally, if I miss, especially a couple doses, that could really make me have some problems with what I have going on. So I didn't, it almost sounded like they could be the same. The missed doses or dosages could be a big problem.
But I
Yeah.
think this person also said they have an RNS too.
No, they said they're getting an RNS in a few days.
Oh,
What is an RNS? I'm still learning a lot. I think I learned it, but I think I forgot.
I got a
it's
specialist that knows a lot about it.
Got
There
the
you go.
RNS here. It's been 5 years since the surgery. It activated a couple weeks after. A big part of getting the RNS was having a lot of seizures on record. So they had to do extensive imaging. It was a 2-year process altogether, and some inpatient epilepsy EMUs, EMU stays. And missing 2 doses was my go-to on how to make sure I was having seizures at the right time, getting them on record so they could determine what kinds of electrodes to put in my brain. They have ones that can go deeper down and then more, I guess, topical ones, but they're all right in there. And then they do a craniotomy right here to implant like the battery pack is how I think of it. And it's all up here. It's different from the VNS because the VNS is implanted in the chest and then attached to a nerve in your neck. And the RNS is all in the head. They said the battery is supposed to last like 5 to 10 years. I'm 5 years in. Nobody said anything about the battery, so.
So is it
That's pretty
basically
much
something that helps regulate the electricity in your brain? Is that kind of what it does?
Oh, I guess the most relevant difference between VNS and RNS is that it's responsive. So they call RNS responsive neurological stimulation or something like that. But responsive is the biggest difference because it is supposed to detect abnormal electrical activity, and then I think of it as like zapping it to stop it from generalizing. So it has made a difference with the tonic-clonics. They're less severe and shorter than they used to be. I wouldn't say there's any difference in the focals, but they're not generalizing like they used to. So I'm having just as many seizures, but they're definitely not as in the way. It's not as big of a deal.
So it doesn't stop the focals though?
No, that's pretty much what I'm still on the medication for.
Okay, because the focals are my main issue. Because I have the focal awareness, and that's I've only had 2 tonic-clonics, but mostly focal awareness is what I have to deal with.
This is what I
How long
take.
have you been?
Nature's Made B12 gummies. The day I started taking them, I haven't had a focal since, and that was almost 2, maybe 3 months ago. I do suggest them. It's Nature's Made B12, the extra strength. It's 3,000 micrograms a day. It's really good. I suggest it. A few other people are telling me it works, so I'm highly suggesting it.
I've actually I have a vitamin regimen that I take B12, vitamin C, vitamin D. So I have vitamins I take, and I take those daily, and I still my brain, I have severe damage, and I still have them even taking those.
How about try the Nature's Made? Let me know how that changes for you. I'm telling you, man, it's the Nature's
Okay,
Made.
and it might. I'll be back in a second. Let me go grab. I'll show you what I take because it's not the Nature's Made. So I will switch to that because I mean, hell, it does, why not? But I'll be right back.
All right, shout out to Nature's Made. See, I'm getting them to switch over to the Nature's Made.
yeah.
But you didn't give them the information they need to pay you.
Yeah, I'll finish that
Come on.
application. It's open. It's on my phone. Getting pictures right now. See us at the beach or at the lake fishing. Yeah. So one of these comments to that, does this happen to anyone else? Comment. This one says, I had 4 TCs on Thursday and I ended up in the ER and I still feel completely off several days later. I hate this. Someone said, it takes me days to recover. I think you body and brain learning to speak the same language to each other again. I know it's very simplistic answer, and I am not a doctor, just someone who's living with seizures for 40 years. Damn, I'm old. Good luck. Give yourself some time to heal.
I mean, the brain does need time to heal, so you are going to feel off for a couple days.
Before I move to this next one, we'll see what Madison has to say. This vitamin regimen.
It's just a cheap off-brand Walmart Maker's Mark.
I was gonna say that's the Walmart brand.
Yep. So it's just a cheap off-brand. So I'll switch to Nature's Made and see what it does.
Yeah, try the gummies. The gummies, they're the best. If you have a Safeway near you,
No, not a
is.
Safeway. I can get those. I don't have a Safeway though.
Oh, if you have a Safeway near you, I use Instacart, and you can buy one get one free, but specifically Safeway. So, but yeah,
No,
they've
I
worked
live
for
in a
me.
smaller area. I'm limited on the places I can go get shit from. Walmart, that's why I have Maker's Mark.
Yeah,
Walmart's literally the main store for me to go to.
yeah, I'm sure Nature's Made might be at Walmart. Check it out, extra strength.
Yeah, I
If
think
I
they
have
are.
to, I'll order it from Amazon.
Oh yeah, Amazon's a great place to get it too. I got something here. It says living with an alcoholic epileptic. Hi everyone. I have an older sister, 29, who has grand mal seizures. She has seizures since she was little, absent seizures. Then when she turned 15, she began to have tonic-clonic seizures. She suffers from mental health issues now. She goes out to drink and gets wasted and puts her life in danger. She's been drugged, raped, and almost arrested. She says she does it to get away from us because we watch over her and tell her not to do certain things so that she doesn't get hurt. I see my mom suffering every day trying to avoid my sister ended up dead. She is aggressive and says hurtful things regardless of if she's drunk or not. All of us are exhausted, and my other siblings have resorted to avoiding her arguments and won't break out so she won't use it as an excuse to drink. We don't restrict her from doing things, but tell her to take it in moderation with everything. The more we restrict, the more she rebels. So we've opted to allowing her to do things such as go to the bar and only have one drink and ask us for a ride between my mom and myself. We alternate pick up duties, but she is inconsiderate and she wants to go back out back to back days and has us staying up till the ass crack of dawn to pick her up, regardless of what we have to do, work or not. And sometimes even when she promises not to drink, she does, and the cycle repeats itself. I want to understand her and help her, but she makes it so difficult. I understand that she is tired and didn't choose to have epilepsy and express how she would rather be dead than have to live with it anymore. My mom is 51 and needs to look out for my younger sister, 16, but she can't because she's trying her best to keep my sister alive. We have attempted to give her work at my mom's job or even doing chores at the house that me and my brother pay her for so she can have some sort of independence, but she isn't responsible. We don't know anyone else who is going through this similar situation, so we feel helpless. How can we help her? What advice can we give if you suffer from seizures? Are we doing something wrong? I don't want to wake up and find my sister dead. Um, what can you do?
I don't
Sounds
think
like
they're
they are
doing
actually
anything
doing
wrong.
everything. They genuinely want to help her.
Yeah.
The compromise, all the compromise of saying you can actually go to the bar if you have one drink, that's what stood out to me as definitely willing to compromise and work with her. But I mean, you can only help somebody if they actually want to be helped. It's another kind of harsh reality.
Yeah.
We
And I understand the sister of, being tired of it, growing up with it and being tired of it and stuff, but still, there's a lot in life. There's a lot in life to appreciate, you know?
I can give a perspective from the sister side.
Everclear. That's some.
Yeah. See this bottle here. See how much is left in it.
Mm,
This was what triggered my first tonic clonic. I drank this entire bottle, but that in one night.
excellent.
I was an alcoholic through. I started drinking at 13. I'm 43 now. Last September, I had my first tonic clonic, and I was told that the alcohol didn't cause it, or cause my brain damage. It just lowered my threshold and caused my first tonic clonic. So, as somebody who was basically a lifelong alcoholic, there is no compromise. You can't do it. You have to help her stop, or she's gonna kill herself through alcohol. That's all there is to it. If she doesn't stop, that there is no alternative. You can't honestly, you can't take her to the bar and say there's just one drink. There's no such thing as one drink. I got so bad that I worked construction with a buddy for a little bit, and around lunchtime, started out with a couple of the small shots of Fireball. Figured I could just have one at lunchtime. That turned into several. Uh, Eventually, I would have like 6 at lunchtime. I'd get a small buzz going. So if she's an alcoholic, I honestly don't think they'll be able to compromise. She's going to have to stop. It's very hard as an alcoholic. If I wouldn't have had my first tonic clonic, I probably would have never stopped. I would drink 2-3 times a week. Not just weekends. I was doing it during the week. Sometimes more than that. Sometimes I drink damn near every night, about 4 or 5 nights. So coming from an alcoholic perspective, it was hard to stop, but she's going to have to, or it won't. I mean, you can't compromise. It has to be completely out of her life. She can't really, especially in the beginning, she won't even be able to hang out with people that are drinking. She has to stay away from it completely, because if I would have been around it, now it's been long enough, I could be around other people drinking and be okay. The first couple months though, I couldn't even be around it, or even after a seizure, I would be tempted to drink. So yeah, that's my perspective. I don't think that they would be able to compromise, because she just never stopped.
Yeah.
If
Go ahead, Kevin.
if I can completely add on to that, that's absolutely true. I mean, there's no enabling this sort of behavior. You can't drive her to the bar or anything. There's nothing there. You can't do anything like that. There's no one drink or anything. It's just unacceptable. And you can't say you want her to live and then sort of there's just no in between here. And I also drank a lot. I perhaps not as I don't know if as much as you, Madison, but I did drink. I binge drank a lot on the weekends. Um, and I wish someone had stepped in and said, cut the shit out. And it's important to set guidelines, and people need they need stuff like that. They need people to. Uh,
It,
People
tough
don't always
love.
know what's yeah, tough love, and they need people don't always know what's best for themselves, and yeah, they need others to step in.
I wish somebody would have done that for me before I had my first tonic-clonic, because even though I had the damage that wasn't caused by the alcohol, had I not drank so much, there's a chance I would have gone the rest of my life and never knew I had epilepsy.
Yeah.
Not only that, these medications for epilepsies, uh, a lot of them mess with our livers. And the alcohol too? Yeah. They're gonna mess with your liver really bad. The Depakote is a very strong one, you know? That's one example.
I
She
was
wasn't
actually
aware that these meds did mess with our livers. I didn't know that. Or
Yeah.
actually, I every time I say that, there's a chance I read something, and my memory's so fucked now. I very well could have forgot.
that's
Yeah.
the tough part. I mean, I was actually drinking a lot when I was taking Depakote, and the doctor was saying your liver's gonna go. But and that's the cycle again. I just didn't care. I was just at the point where I was hating this so much, and but it's just weird how things turn around. I don't know. I don't know. I just cut back a little. So yeah, it turned out for the best. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Like,
had to make that choice. Yeah, I'm glad where I am now.
yeah, mine was smoking tobacco. Yeah, I smoked backwoods with weed for so long. I never smoked cigarettes, but smoking just backwoods cigars, and I didn't. They said it lowers your threshold, so I didn't know if that was it or not. So I just cut it out cold turkey, and then now I smoke papers, and it's pretty good. To be honest, yeah, just smoking papers is cool.
Yep,
Trying to see if I can
that's what
go
I
more.
use.
Oh yeah, those are the ones, king size. And I got some tips every now and then. But yeah, I got something here. Actually, I don't. Um, oh, what I was gonna say is, yeah. Oh, I said it already. Sorry. Memories. Shit. Um,
What'd you say?
said said about the weed. How I said I smoke tobacco. I was gonna say that story all over again, but yeah, gave up on the tobacco. So said that again. So hey. Um, got one. It says had a seizure. I had a seizure a couple weeks ago. First one in 7 years. Scared my wife. First time she actually saw a seizure is the 25 years in the 25 years together. It came after a week of completely messed up sleep schedule. Then I only had 2 hours of sleep before my shift. During my shift, I had troubles getting through the day. I had troubles getting thoughts to come through. I should have known it was coming, but if I had been 7 years, I should have known it was coming since I've had it for 7 years. I made it through my shift, made it home, even took a nap, but I went outside, felt like my eyes were clicking, and before I knew it, I was waking up on the ground with the EMS standing above me and coaxing me out of my seizure. My wife was able to get me off the concrete patio and was able to put me on the softer ground. No bruising, just sore muscles and joints. All of this background just to ask one question. When I came out of the seizure and and the other times, I kept apologizing. Every sentence started with an apology. Does anyone else do this, or is this my trauma trait? Trauma trait. I used to apologize every time. That used to be me. I used to instantly apologize. Like, I'm sorry, you guys. That's because I was having my friends tell them, don't tell my mom and shit like that. So then I was apologizing to them so they wouldn't tell my mom. That was that part. Eventually, I just stopped apologizing. If you're going to hang out with me and you know I have epilepsy, this is what's going to happen. Just got to be prepared for it. I understand it's traumatizing to some friends, but I was just like, yeah, I'm done apologizing over the epilepsy. Comes with this, and you're around me, and you know it.
I was just
Yeah.
making sure nobody else was going to talk. I have bad emotional breakdowns all the damn time. I mean, I had one online in the epilepsy meme group a few days ago because I was posting so much and I didn't realize I was posting so much of one topic. And the guy made a simple comment about, mix it up. And because I was already in kind of a sad mood because that was kind of a dead community and I felt like I hijacked it, I was already feeling upset. And that one comment it wasn't him. He didn't do anything wrong. It just set me off and I just felt really bad. And I posted a couple things about, I guess it's time to take a break and all that. And, I apologized online to people that I don't even know. And normally, before all this, I would have just said, fuck it, and walked away and took a break. But no, instead I had a public apology online because I got so emotional and I couldn't control it. It felt like I was in a dream watching myself from the outside and I couldn't control, what I said. I just was along for the ride.
Angel, were you gonna say something? Oh.
Yeah, I get apologetic too for things, and you shouldn't be sorry for having epilepsy and stuff like that. This is who you are, and it's something you have to like learn. It's not easy, but it's something you have to learn. It's like this is a part of you. This is who you are. Just it's your identity. And you shouldn't have to apologize for who you are in terms of the epilepsy.
Yeah. Especially people who've been around you for so long. Like,
Yeah.
You know what's going on. I'm done apologizing. You're my friend. You're my family. Something. And yeah.
That's weird. I never apologized for the epilepsy because coming out of a seizure or the myoclonic jerks, I never apologized for those because I was too out of it. But I feel like I apologize all the time for other things. I feel like the medicine has made my brain and my personality a little more submissive. Does that register? Like,
Yeah.
I'm
That's
not like,
exactly what I was saying. Yep. It's not really mine isn't necessarily apologizing for the epilepsy. I just get so emotional. And so like that, the online thing, it wasn't my epilepsy. It was just feeling sad and I shouldn't have. I felt like I needed to apologize and really I had no reason to apologize. So yeah, that's exactly what it is for me.
I'm just walking down the street and I'm bumping into people and I'm saying, "Oh, sorry, 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 sorry" to everyone. And I don't even know why. What do I do? What the hell am I doing?
That is the easier way to do it typically.
I didn't do anything wrong. I should just be walking through people. What the hell?
Ain't nobody apologize to you?
No.
See?
No,
You didn't bump into all those people. Some of them
I'm the man. I should be knocking them over.
Yeah, you're almost
Yeah.
6 feet, man. You'll be getting
Well,
pushed
thank God
around.
you
You're
don't
that
actually
big.
believe that.
5'11" and a half. We'll go.
All right, I can settle for that. So for the apologizing thing, let's go through these comments. Someone said, I think it's because it's one of the closest to near-death experience you can have. You feel yourself slipping out of the world, and you're trying, and you are speaking tenderness and vulnerability back into it, even if it's the last time. It means you have a heart. Much love to you, friend. So what else? All my seizures except.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, you can go ahead because I don't want you to forget. I can read mine over.
Anybody ever want to apologize for their memory loss?
No,
Anybody ever
I
just like
did.
feel kind of guilty about not being able to remember stuff
I did.
Yeah, I did until
or people?
somebody started telling me I was lying. So you're gonna deal
No,
with it.
I do apologize because I also get a lot of false memories, so I confuse it. So I'll like get a little upset because I also can't control the emotions. So I'll, start apologizing because, I'm the one who's forgetting. And yeah, I just, with all of it, I can't control the emotion. So yeah, whenever I forget stuff, I find myself apologizing all the time too.
Yeah, I think now that you say that, I do. Like, I'd be like, I am so sorry. I just came to you and took your attention off of whatever you were doing, and I don't even remember what I came in here for. Been there. So yeah, I do apologize a lot for things like that, for forgetting mid-sentence and stuff like that. Start a conversation. Now I forgot what I was telling you about, and yeah. So yeah, I do apologize. Yeah.
Oh, real quick, here's this is my system. I've seen people forget meds a lot. I have two different 30-day organizers that I use, one for daytime, one for nighttime, and they have the numbers on them. So even if I think I forget, I can always. I'm also at home, so this may not work for everybody because I can just, if I think I forgot, I can go look, and a lot of times I forget the date also, so I just have to look on my phone and see what date it is and see if I took the meds for the day. So like I said, it may not work for everybody, but that's what I do. Kind of a side thought, but
Does that work for, you said daytime and nighttime, so you take yours no more than like twice a day?
yeah, I only take mine twice a day.
Yeah. No, that sounds like a good system.
Yeah, it may not work for everybody because I don't know. Like, there may be others that have to take theirs more than twice. I don't know. I'm still new to this and learning. I just know what I have to do, and it works for me.
Yeah, I do mine twice a day.
Yeah, I think there's only one med that I have to take 3 times a day.
You got something to say, or are you leaving, Mark?
Mark's putting his finger up for 4 times a day.
Oh,
4 times.
I thought he was waving goodbye.
I probably
Well,
should.
with that many meds, it looked like he was waving goodbye, or that many times a day.
Yeah, I probably should say goodnight. It's pushing 11 o'clock here, and I had an early morning today. But um, yeah, I'll
Everybody's 3 hours ahead of me right now. Everybody.
do what?
That everyone's 3 hours ahead of me right now. It's 7:46 here.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
you
only
know us
two.
East Coasters.
Still California looking good outside. But
It's
yeah.
it's 9:47 here.
Oh, okay. Angel,
Yeah.
he's usually up with me to the last. Angel's always the last person. Always.
I'm
You got to
with
get
you,
more West
Canelo,
Coast people,
brother.
man.
Huh?
You got to get more people from the West Coast, man.
Oh,
They're all out today. They're out doing things today.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Sailor Mom didn't come on today yet.
I'm the only one who doesn't have a life.
yeah.
Well, my increased meds made me take a several-hour nap earlier, so I might be up for a while.
Kate
Perfect.
might be up for a while too. She's taking a drive to 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Not
So
to mention, we just passed a wreck. I mean, say some prayers. I don't even know if the ambulance got there yet, but it's like a 3 areas of barriers missing. The semi definitely rear-ended a little 4-door. And yeah, I'm not gonna have a problem staying awake from this point. Turnpike's a bitch.
All right. Yeah, I'll move to the next one. Okay, it says service dog alerts, but no seizure. Does your service dog sometimes alert and no seizure follows? And if so, do you know why? She smells my breath and my sweat, and sometimes when she alerts, I breathe in my hand and let her sniff it. If she alerts again, I can be safer with that is wrong. She just did it, but I have no seizure and I feel nothing is coming, or so. I have a focal seizure. Now I'm like, is her alert wrong? But I also have no food near me, so she's not begging for food. Is it possible that she is basically smelling that my seizure threshold is changing? Because these wrong alerts mostly happen when my blood sugar is low, which is my number one trigger for seizures. She stopped alerting, but is laying close to me, so I don't know. Is it the dog? Is it the dog? I don't have a service dog.
The curious thing is, though, she already mentioned that usually when she alerts, it's because of the blood pressure or low blood sugar. She said she was like
Yeah.
diabetic, was it?
Yeah.
It sounded like if in this situation, it's going to take, a time will tell approach of journal when the dog alerts, check your blood sugar, check your blood pressure, see what else puppy could be alerting to, because I would trust the dog's instincts. If that dog is clearly trained to approach and alert, then they got a cue. The dog has to have a cue to provoke that behavior. So I'm thinking whoever posted this definitely just needs to figure out what the dog could be alerting for by keeping track of any other vitals or what they could be trained to do. Trust the dog. That's what I would think.
He said,
Better
"Is it the
safe than
dog?"
sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. I got to the comments real quick. It said, could it maybe be that your sugar is still low, but not that low yet? Maybe the dog is warning you when you're getting close to the seizure threshold and maybe alerted a little earlier than normal. Can dogs alert early? I'm just taking a guess. Someone else here says, service dog handler here. She might be picking up on something else, like anxiety or changes in the heart rate. If she's starting to alert to things you don't want her to, I'd check in with her trainer. Low blood sugar has a pretty strong scent for dogs, usually even stronger than the methadone scent they're looking for with seizures. Learn something new every day. Someone said, I don't think it's a stretch to say an emotional support animal is a service dog if it keeps you calm, which helps lessen stress and prevents the likelihood of a seizure. I don't even know why the person said that. Something near a new one. Mouth movements when listening. My father had a seizure last year. It is on a very high dose of Keppra. When he's listening now to people, his mouth moves as if he's mourning the words himself. Does anyone have any insight on why this is happening and if this is common occurrence with Keppra or post-seizure damage? The mouth movements, I don't exactly get that.
It could be an absent seizure coming through.
Is it safe to take painkillers after a TC? Basically, the title. Google isn't telling me anything, so I thought I'd ask here before I take any further steps. I had a TC about an hour ago, and of course, my headache and my muscles hurt, and I'm wondering if it's safe to take any painkillers. The first comment says most pain medications are safe with epilepsy. The only ones that's not recommended is tramadol. I've never taken a painkiller after, unless I go to the hospital. Then I ask for Ativan, which I shouldn't get anyway, but takes it right away.
I think the only painkiller that I got in the hospital was given to me when they popped my shoulder back in was morphine. But other than that, I don't take over the counter meds just because I don't want to mess with the meds therapy treatment.
Okay.
After
Well,
my
I mean,
back
it sounds
stuff,
that
I was gonna say I just don't like painkillers in general because they damn near killed me. So I don't know about relationship with seizures. I just personally don't like them, because of my own experience.
I'm surprised at how many anti-seizure medications that they use as pain relievers for nerve pain anyway. The gabapentins and pregabalins, those are considered pain relievers for nerve pain, but the typical oxys and whatnot, I thought there was always more negative interactions because I'm assuming obviously they're having tonic-clonics or taking AEDs regularly or benzos, and that's the ones you don't want to mess with the interactions. Definitely not. So maybe
Definitely.
Google's not telling them what they want to see, but it's easy to find on Google. Don't fuck with the pain meds.
Yeah, I think I would definitely stay away from any of the opioids. I'm actually just stick to Tylenol or something. Advil. I mean, just the basics, you know. I know, you might have more severe pain than I had, but hey,
I got another one here. It says always thinking about the next seizure. I had my first seizure 8 months ago at 43 years old. EEG said I have focal slowing, but no epileptiform discharges. Doctor said based on the EEG, it was just a matter of time. Seizure wasn't provoked, and I was a ticking time bomb for 43 years. I truly believe it is caused by drinking too much water, trying to stay hydrated in Mexico. I had drank an extremely large bottle of water hours earlier, and the emergency room said my sodium was low. Was rotating water and Gatorade, but clearly overdid the water in one shot. But I also had gotten over COVID right before the trip, which was mild, but I barely ate anything for 1.5 weeks. Dropped like 5 pounds, and I'm already thin. I had also started a new antidepressant 3 days earlier. Psychiatrist knew I was going to go on a vacation. They immediately took me off that one in case it was an allergy or serotonin syndrome, but I can't stop thinking when the next one will be. It has consumed me since one seizure increased risk for more. I'm afraid to do anything because it might cause a seizure. I'm constantly saying to my husband, I hope this doesn't cause a seizure. How do you resume living your life? Any advice? Well, this person's fairly new to this. What do you guys say to someone's new to this? I've been in this for 20 years. Let's see. I say you can't worry like that. You just got to avoid stressful situations because, of course, the person said a lot of triggers are stressful situations. Avoid stressing yourself out, overthinking it. Don't chat GPT because you're definitely going to overthink it because that's going to give you a lot about the situation. Probably things you're not going through. But yeah, I guess I don't always think about the next seizure. I try to take my medication and think that's gonna make me not have a seizure, so I'm not thinking about the next one. And that's twice a day, so I always think about it. What do you guys tell
Yeah,
someone?
I was gonna say I'm pretty fairly new myself. I'm less than a year into my diagnosis. I mean, I was told I've had it most of my life, but I didn't know it. So I'm very new. I know almost nothing about it, and they sound very similar to me, minus the drinking. Um, I mean, I personally wouldn't think drinking water would trigger a seizure, but like I said, I'm still new and learning. But the anxiety, I can tell you from personal experience, that started triggering a lot of the absent seizures for me because the more I thought about it, the more it seemed to trigger them, and that kind of inspired some of the memes I made because yeah, it felt like thinking about them too much would trigger a seizure, and I had to find distractions and find my own ways to not think about them so much. I don't know what would personally help that person, but I just had to find distractions. That's how you found me on Reddit so much because I'm home alone all the time and I started staring at the wall a lot. So I had to do something.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Glad you found
common.
us.
Go ahead, Kate.
I was just, responding to what Madison said. Glad you found us. We're
Yeah.
here now. You got something to do. Some people to talk to. The thing about water reminded me of a couple times when I swear I probably did have some seizures after just drinking too much water at once. I mean, anything in excess can kind of water down the meds, I feel like. So if I chug a lot of water, we're talking like more half a gallon or something after. That, something.
Angel, you got something? You've been in this for a while. What do you tell someone new?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, well, first, it's everything what you said, Pookie. You know, avoid the stressors and avoid everything that are, the common things that lower your thresholds or lower a majority of people thresholds is stress, sleep deprivation, and there's another big one.
Skip doses.
Oh, alcohol. Yeah.
Oh, there's
Those-
something real quick. Never mind. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna ask. I've seen. I think it was in just the the epilepsy Reddit group, but I've seen a lot of people ask about, is it okay to drink, this little bit or whatever? And every time I see those, I just shake my head because I'm like, really? Are you trying to trigger these seizures? Because from everything I've seen and what my doctor tells me, one drink's too much. So yeah, I just shake my head when I see those, but I'm still new to this, so I don't know.
It's the same thing with people that say, "Is it okay to drive when they shouldn't be driving?" Yeah. It, there's a bunch of things. Your life is going to change with epilepsy, you know, and there's going to be things you can't do no more that you might have used to love doing, and you're just going to have to learn how to adjust with it. And it just takes time, and you just stay on top of your meds. You have to advocate for yourself. Don't let the doctor, bull you into, you got to do this, you got to do that. Make sure you know what you're doing, you know? If you're feeling this med's not working, don't let them say, "Oh, we'll just increase the dosage or whatever." That's basically what started the Kepra rage and all, because all they were doing was increasing dosages, you know? And if it's not working for you, if it's not right with your body, you tell them that, you know, don't let them bully you around on a medication. Tell them you need another treatment because this medication isn't right for my body. But
Know your
yeah,
body.
you know your body. If you're one of the lucky ones that have auras and know your triggers, learn them fast, and watch out for them. Keep a journal, memorize everything you can.
That's why I'm actually, to add on to that, I'm very happy with the neurologist I was able to find, because she did just increase my dose, but she told me if this doesn't work and I'm still having the absent seizures, even though it sounds weird and it freaks me out, I know it's to figure out exactly where the problems are. But her solution is, if this increase doesn't work, I need to come in and do an extensive EEG and see if they can trigger them. She said she'd wean me off the medicine before I came in, because they'd want to trigger and capture exactly what's happening and see, they might need to change my medicine or whatever the case may be. So yeah, she's not trying to bully me. She wants me to try to figure out exactly what is going on, and if necessary, make a med change or figure out the case from there. So
Madison, which one did they give you for your absence seizure? Is it the usuccinide? I can't
no,
pronounce the name.
I'm on Vimpat, which is Vimpat. The generic is
Oh,
lacosamide, and
okay.
Riviact.
Yeah, because I have an old one. I have an old one subscribed to me, methsuccinide, and that I haven't noticed anything in my camera for absence seizures, and no one has noticed any absence seizures around me. But I have been through some stress, so I might have had some nocturnal ones when nobody could um see, but I haven't picked up any recent ones since I got put on Xcopri.
Yeah, that's where I guess I'm kind of fortunate too, because I've seen or heard that not everybody gets their auras. I seem to get one almost every time. I'm not always sure, because I guess sometimes my aura is not very strong, but when I do get it, I get these really like trippy feelings in my head that I can't really explain, but then I'll get like my lips or tongue will go numb. Not always, but sometimes my right leg will go numb. So I do have like these weird sensations in my body that lets me know that, you know, and I wasn't sure those were seizures until my neurologist, I described those feelings, and she said, yeah, nope, those are absent seizures. So I'm lucky in that way, I guess. It's kind of weird. I do enjoy my auras for that reason, because that tells me I am having one, and so I know something needs to change.
So Madison, being that you're new in this journey, how are you doing on establishing some triggers? Do you know any of your triggers?
It seems I don't necessarily have triggers other than maybe anxiety. Um, yeah, I the other night one happened. The reason I contacted my doctor, I was actually online making memes. I was in a good mood. Nothing really happened, and all of a sudden I just got really sad. I started crying for no reason. So, anxiety doesn't always trigger them. Yeah, I wasn't doing anything out of the normal. I was just sitting here making memes, and it happened. So, yeah.
Yeah, my first seizure happened while I was just walking to school. So I understand that it just happened.
All right, you guys, I got something here. Since I've been having seizures in my sleep and my boyfriend is worried we aren't catching all of them, I've been recently having nocturnal seizures during around my period. I've never had a seizure. I've never had seizures before, but since I didn't share a room as a teen or a child, we aren't sure if they've happened before. Are there any nocturnal seizure devices you guys use and trust? Most websites seem to have the devices are made for children and not really adults, or they are available to purchase, more of just concept. My boyfriend is really worried that he might not be waking up for all of them if I'm only having a small one, not big ones, or worried to let me sleep alone now. I have an aura. I have an aura that's nice for tracking basic stuff, but I would like something specifically for seizures. I'm assuming an aura might be the name of a camera.
Yeah, I think a nanny cam would be probably the best device for nocturnal seizures.
I mean, I got regular surveillance. Doesn't necessarily have to be a nanny cam.
Yeah, I have a Rio Link system, and it wasn't until we started talking on here that I actually have a spare camera I don't have hooked up, and I don't know why my dumbass hasn't put it in my bedroom yet, but that's what I'm gonna be doing probably tomorrow.
Yeah, I got mine's right here in front of me, and it's so good. The movement detection is on so good to where like I'm just talking to you guys, and it's seeing my lips moving, giving me warnings that something is moving. Um, I love it. Just at nighttime, you got to turn off that notification because otherwise it'll be chirping all night every time I turn over 3 in the morning and stuff. That can get really annoying, especially if you have someone over.
Yeah, there goes mine right there, looking right at me.
Yeah,
Well, the best part about those cameras too is it's like it does the editing for you. When you go back and review the footage, it'll bring it to the alert of when there was movement, and it's just a clip. You don't have
It'll
to
show you a
scroll
video of
through
how long.
all night. Yeah.
Or I watch the time lapse videos sometimes. Those are pretty cool. Watch myself turn over 20 times during the night. And it only slow down when I go through it. That's hilarious. One of the comments says, first off, if you're dealing with this, I know it can be scary for you and your partner. I slept on the floor next to my daughter's bed for 8 months straight when she was 4 and started having seizures. The usual steps are get seen by an epileptologist, preferably, and get an EEG done to try and determine what's going on. Are you on medication currently and having breakthrough seizures, or are you unmedicated and need to get on something still? Have you recently been ill and seen an increase in activity, lifestyle changes to make immediately, or getting 8 hours of sleep, not drinking alcohol, and not using any recreational drugs if you are? I monitor my daughter with a simple security camera nightly. It's not specific for seizures, but it let me listen from the other room and review if anything had happened or movement recordings. Aside from that, there's Epi Watch. If you have an Apple Watch, it's theirs. It's theirs. The Embrace 2, that for your doc can write an RX for so insurance will pay for it. Hope you get this under control.
Yeah, I seen that. Not the Apple Watch, but the prescription one you saw. I did see that, and I was thinking about talking to my neurologist about it because if you have, insurance, apparently insurance will cover it or
Oh,
may
nice.
cover it.
I'm gonna talk about that. I got an appointment coming up. Yeah. So,
I mean, with all the different devices out there, it's just whatever works for you. It's so different for everybody. If nocturnal seizures or nocturnal absence seizures is what you're having, and you don't really pick up on it if somebody else isn't right there looking out for you, then maybe one of those devices would actually help you keep track.
I'll move to this one. higher seizure rates. Hi, fellow epileptic babe of 2 years here. In no way am I being rude or come from a place of malice when I ask this. Is it just me, or does it seem like more and more people are having seizures these days? Or perhaps we are just more aware of others having seizures, similar to seeing other people with your car, curious to where you stand and what are your theories. I know a lot of my friends are having seizures lately, except for Kevin, of course. I see you, champ. Kevin's 6 years free, Madison. He's the champ around here.
It's going on
Really?
7.
Wow. Congratulations.
I was actually looking at this championship belt online, and it's like 160 bucks, and you decorated and stuff. And I was thinking about you, and I was like, I'm gonna get Kevin a belt.
My last one was my last official one that I know of was in May, but I felt something weird on Monday, and I couldn't find any footage on the camera about it. So I can't really diagnose it if it was a seizure or not, but it could have been.
Yeah, you got to go 6 years to beat the champ. The champ. I get you a belt one day. Did you have something to say, Madison?
I got, oh no, Tom got that champion now. I said I got the 28 years living with epilepsy.
Tom been through it for 50, and he's happy.
He's the
Love Tom.
pioneer.
Right. He's always happy. He's like, and I got a job. He's always said, life is good. Right.
That's what I'm going for. I'm gonna be living with it and happy. That's what you want to be. I'd rather have that.
Yeah.
That's the golden crown right there.
He'll probably be here soon.
You just know a lot of us want to be in that place where you're at, 6 years seizure free.
And happy. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm 2 days seizure free. I think that's what it is.
I'm like a week.
Mine's so recent.
I'm almost 2 weeks. I'm about 12 days.
Well, hopefully it'll keep going for you.
Right. Something about this next post, though.
Please take your medication as prescribed or whatever works for you. We're not doctors.